Okay. So you saying I can count us down?
Once it starts up,
Going in 3, 2. That was your moment to shine right there, Pato. Oh, okay.
what's the leeway? You start with the starts.
I really want to know how much Wub Wub is gonna be in this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Raise Your Weapon. I am Pato, and with me is Highwind. We are at LANcouver, bumping some fresh beats.
Oh, hells yes.
And we have a serious game for you right now. We have vVv, the remnants of vVv, recently split up a little bit. You know, we still see Altex and Roshan now, the familiar members, still on that team. And they are the blue team rotating up in here, and they are going to be against CreamTeam.
All right, so a little bit about the vVv team here. Something happened within the vVv club. Brian Harris, Tsunami taking off, going on his own way. Also, Skilly leaving the team. Looks like Roshan now stepping up. He's going to be the new captain. Got a chance to meet these players in person. A lot of those players are here at this event. We actually have 2 teams that are stacked at this event. One of them being the current vVv team, which has Roshan now and Altec. Oh man, these guys have been just, playing stellar throughout the match. We haven't quite brought many of these matches yet here in pool play, but to my knowledge, they're 2-0. This is going to be round 3 of pool play in the B pool. And, not much is known about the Cream team. If I check the brackets, I can tell you that they are currently 1-0. They had a bye first round. So this will be like they're kind of... they stepped up into the B pool, and they got a bye first round. Not so much a bye, because of it's an odd number of teams, so they had a slight delayed start. They took their first win against Dream Real Esports, and so now they're gonna get a hard, to my guess, it's gonna be a hard match.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how it shapes up here. I know that we've had some technical difficulties. There's actually vV actually had a pretty close game, I believe one of their first games, but were able to pull it out. So I'm interested to see how they come back here. We saw a nice little cute hide on their blue buff in case they were invaded to sneak this off, to avoid out some invasions from Red in case Red did that. Red just defending their blue as well, and it's going to be easy pickup. Looks like Red's actually running Jungle Jarvan, which I haven't seen much of lately, and we're also going to see Malphite go against Wukong, which I have to believe is pretty much in Malphite's corner at this point.
Yeah, I would say so as well. Also, that little hide maneuver that you saw is exactly similar to what Orb did against vVv at MLG. I don't know if any of you guys had a chance to watch that match, but vVv went for an invade on Orb, and Orb just really played it smooth in the sense that they hit that little bush, waited for them to invade their blue, and then just destroyed them early on, and I think that led to an early defeat.
Yeah, I mean, Orbit, very, very strong team. I know when they were talking, what vV was talking about, it was mainly the bottom lane. And, Roshan, Altex had to go against it. Nyantosh, very, very solid, really hyper-aggressive AD carry. And, to be really successful in a lot of games these days, a lot of AD carries, you have to play on that edge, you have to play aggression and know you can win. But the fun part that we're going to get to see here is we're going to get to see the part that is intact for vVv is their bot lane. You still have Altex, the stud young gun, along with Roshan now, the new named captain, and they're running the awesome Pulsefire Ezreal with that Lulu. They're actually going to have a lot of pretty good harass down here, but they are going against a Taric Graze. So depending on which team decides or figures out if they can win a trade, they're going to have the best on this. And I think Altex is really, really close. If he actually would have landed that Mystic shot, that would have been a kill on Graves. In comes Longley. He's not going to be able to finish this off. Going to take a turret hit for that, but definitely advantage right now is for the bottom lane for Team vVv.
Yeah, we take a quick look at summoners for the bot lanes. Taric blew both his flash and exhaust, and Graves did not use his ignite, but his flash is down. Roshan's exhaust is down, but his flash is still up, and if we take a look at Altex, his flash is still available. So they can be a little more aggressive now in lane. They can make plays where they have the safety of that flash to fall back on, whereas the Taric and Graves combination does not have that flash at their disposal.
Yeah, and it's, for a safety reason they don't have the flash, and they can't initiate with it either. And without that exhaust, also any trades are going to be actually in vVv's favor. Looks like Graves has actually potted up quite a bit, got a little bit of healing from that Taric, so has a little bit better sustain than the Lulu lane does, but if the vVv keeps winning these bottom lane exchanges like that, then they'll be perfectly fine. And if you get ahead of a Tarek, his bread and butter is like his wheelhouse is right now. He really wants to be really effective right now if he can with that armor shatter, the stun, and get in some good burst combos. As we look into middle lane, it's actually I like to see Orianna these days. I like her. She's very balanced, is what she's been tweaked a bunch. And now she's at a really balanced state, but she still has really, really effective team fights. Especially, there's so many tricks you can do with her. She's really fun AP mid to actually play, and so I like to see her more in these games because interesting, smart, clever plays that people can do. It kind of almost reminds me a little bit of Anivia and how Anivia actually has a lot of utility out of her wall, but there's so much utility with that ball. But we have a medium engagement. Graves totally focused on support. Both ADs focusing on support. It looks like first blood is actually going to Altix, and now he's going to start to duel with Graves here, and Lulu's going to come back up here, give him a little bit of support. He misses another Mystic shot there. I wonder if maybe, he's having a little trouble with his hotkeys right there, and Graves really, really wants to pick this up. He's not going to be able to do it. Altex picking up that first blood is really going to help him in this bottom lane, and they're probably going to have to go back.
And here in top lane, we've got Maokai coming in here with the Twisted Advance. He's got the red buff, but the Ignite might actually kill him before Wukong does finally die to Malphite.
And that's actually a really good trade for top. If you trade your top solos and they only get your jungler, and they don't come away with any buffs or anything, that's a great move for you. It's going to give Malphite a lot more strength in this top lane, and the good news is for Red, though, is Jarvan's rotated up, and he's actually going to gain a few more levels and get a little more experience out of it, so he's actually going to be able to match Maokai a little bit here.
And, Jarvan being a really strong level 6 ganker, well, he's actually a strong ganker at any level, but more so when he can dunk.
Yeah,
from the shadows.
Jarvan.
Bad news for Wukong, and maybe not so much bad news, but Malphite now has a red buff, so that buff transfer went from Maokai to Wukong to now Malphite.
Yeah, as I look at this middle lane, it looks like the CS is pretty even. I like Orianna's play here, able to match wave pushes with Morgana. It'll be interesting to see, if she actually is able to, keep up her last hit from this push as Morgana gets up in levels, and if, Morgana's going to be able to rotate and do other things. Looks like Malphite just doesn't want to let Wukong have a free lane, and he's losing out a little bit here. He did not go back and buy, even though Wukong did die, he was able to go back and buy up a little bit, so right now he has a little bit of advantage over Malphite. Malphite still needs to go back and buy his first gold per 10 item, or any other tanky item to help him in lane against this Wukong who's bought up 2 Doran's Blades already. And there was another big trade going on here. Exhaust actually going on to Altex, but it looks like Tarek is going to be the target of ridicule here. Condemn. Graves under a lot of pressure. Misses that buckshot. Great little juke right there. Maokai just coming in there just to make sure.
Yeah,
to make sure for Altex.
The kill steal,
Yeah. Getting an assist. No, it's actually really good for a team. If he's able to go in there, it's like bonus on top of everything. And if we look here, Altex still able to pick up that kill. So now Altex actually has 2 kills in this bottom lane. He has an assist. He's sitting pretty good. If we look at the CS, 46 CS to Graves 39. So he's slightly ahead there, but the kills are really, really going to elevate Ezreal ahead of Graves.
And this exchange in top lane is not in Wukong's favor. He may have to use his ult to get out of here, but if we think about what Malphite's going to do,
woo!
And there it was. I didn't even have a chance to say it. It was going to happen. We knew Malphite was winning the exchange. And when you start looking at that and realizing that, hey, we're both level 6 and both of our ults are available and you're losing this exchange, without some sort of summoners or jungle backup, it's more of a time to get out of there. And, Malphite winning that one, hands down, the red buff actually coming through. If we could look at the damage recap, we'd see that red buff probably did about 10 or 20% of that damage throughout the entire exchange.
Yeah, and, I definitely like Malphite in that, when you see him in a team fight, you get in those late game scenarios, he uses his ult to initiate. But when it's in top lane, it's used for completely different reasons, either to escape, or he waits on it. He waits on it to finish someone off. And here we go, Altex trying to trade again. Graves very, very low. And these trades are just constantly in Altex's favor. They're trying to, Graves trying to get a little bit of damage on Lulu, but Lulu just able to take it, and Graves getting focused.
Yeah, the thing here that's helping them out is Lulu's kit is similar to Tarek's in the sense that they have like a hard CC, but whereas Tarek doesn't bring a lot of damage to the table when they're in these exchanges, Lulu's ability to not only sheath them, but she can also add a little bit of damage as well as a slow, which is also more damage. And so that combined with Ezreal's mobility turns out to be, these exchanges are turning out way more in favor of Ezreal, and in this case, Pulsefire Ezreal.
Yeah, I mean, actually, Pix actually does a lot of damage. It has a lot of range too, so it's actually a really, really great harassment tool. As well as you can also use it to actually, shield your opponent. Altec's actually under turret right there, and unthinky
Yeah,
there
so
was
that
a
was-
DC.
So one thing we were noting, so a couple things to talk about here real quick in this pause. This is probably going to see a disconnect here on Altec, and what I'm betting is there's a lot of lag going on. We're seeing a lot of spells and these skill shots missing, and they normally wouldn't miss, especially here in a LAN environment and on the supposed technology that we have available to us. And we have had some ups and downs with the internet here at LANcouver.
Like any LAN you would have, typically there always are, technical difficulties to start out. But I'm sure by tomorrow going on, I'm sure the internet will be up to snuff and will be running at a nice pace here.
And,
so we're just going to wait out here. Just going to wait for this timer. It looks like he is back in. The pause is being ended. And Roshan now's going to have to run for his life. He's probably going to get stunned here. No mercy from the red team. They really need to make up some ground here. And you see that burst damage there coming from Lulu. Maybe thought that he might have it, and no, there's the flash after to make sure that he does fall. So that is a double kill in bot lane. Unfortunate, that there was the DC there by Altex, but in a competitive environment, I guess there's sportsmanship, but at the same time, take what you can at this point. I'm sure red team's like, we need this to win, so we're gonna try to make it happen.
Yeah, it's a brutal fact of life or fact of game right now, and I think the thing is it's not going to be one side is going to be more effective than the other. But both these teams are sitting across from each other right now. And I'm going to shut up because we have a
there is
huge
a
stage going
great
on.
ult in there by Malphite, following this up. Wukong trying to ult, but he will fall as well. Morgana just running through and soul shackling just for fun. And it looks like they didn't even feel that one. And it looks like vVv is just going to back off out of here. They might steal red buff. It looks like they will, and they should. They know that the top lane and jungler are down, so there's no reason not to. It looks like Graves actually coming mid here. Maybe he was thinking about helping out at first, and now he's going to rotate his way down. It looks like he might... No, he's not going to pick up Wolves. He's going to run straight bottom and defend against that push. And I'm sure Roshan now and Altex probably want some revenge down bottom, and are probably going to try to lay it on him. If we look at the items-wise, we see the standard AD from Graves. He has his Berserker Greaves. He has his 2 Doran Blades. And then we look at Ezreal. What we see is it looks like he's heading towards his Phage. He's not quite there yet. And probably next back we'll see that from him. Heals coming in for Graves, losing a lot of that vision here. And there's the ult from Pulsefire Ezreal, laying it down. Lulu trying to not let Graves escape out of this. It looks like Tar's going to have to give up his life. And in goes Altex yet again, and he will pick up the kill and just barely survive with a little help. No lag there.
Well played by both members of the vVv team. Coordinating the turret hits, because
Yes.
all of that, most of that damage that they dealt out took place under the enemy turret. So they're actually, at first Ezreal taking hits, backing out, and then Roshan now moving in, and with her all baiting them and staying in that fight, and that allowed them to actually finish up and pick up those kills.
And now Malphite being really bold. He's actually up past the turret. Like, look how far this Malphite is to Jarvan, and Morgana's rotating up and be like, no, we're not going to let you do that. And Malphite's probably going to have something to say about that. He's going to try to trade with Jarvan. Jarvan's going to ult in there. Yes, he does have his ult, and he actually might be able to pick up Jarvan if they don't deal with this correctly. And he might try to get out of this soul shackle. It looks like he will not. Will he decide to go back in? He's trying to trade here. When's the ult going to come in? Might see a double kill. When's he going to use it? He's not going to use it. He's just going to give up his life, it looks like. Oh, it looks like it was just barely down. It looks like his ult actually just barely came back up.
So yeah, give him another couple of seconds, and I think we would have seen a double, 1 versus 2, a successful 1 versus 2.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it did not work out in his favor. He's gonna go fall there, and the purple team gonna pick up, or red team, sorry, gonna pick up a couple kills here, or well, 1, but they're gonna get the assist.
Yeah, and it's always good when you can go up and do that, because if they would have given up the double kill there, at that point it's like your team comp is broken up. But here's another engagement. Quickly, there's the shatter. The ult from Ezreal coming back in. He's actually going to Arcane Shift out of this. Ignite go down, and Maokai coming in from behind to wreck all the plans of Graves. And there's another double kill. Double kill for Maokai this time. And they're going to push in. It looks like it's 13 minutes in. They're probably going to rotate over, get a dragon, let that tower deny some CS from this bot lane. Jarvan might have something to say about this. Let's wait in here and see if he face checks. They might be actually be getting ready to come in here and harass Blue and not let him take it. They might have that timer down. They do have a ward there. I like that ward. And it's going to actually protect this dragon play right here. Altex going to come in and put some DPS that's very much needed to take this early dragon, and this is going to propel vV even farther ahead, probably about 5k advantage, or maybe a little bit over that, actually, now as we move in to almost the 15-minute mark. Looks like Wukong has actually switched mid. Maybe he feels like he has a little bit of a better lane bottom. Probably going to rotate up for a gank on Malphite eventually, I do believe.
Yeah, Morgana should have a better time against Malphite, but I don't know, in terms of better, how much are we talking about?
Yeah, Malphite still, his damage shield still does work against magic damage. He benefits more. There's more reduction. It works with reduction. So if he has magic resist, it'll actually work with that as well. But we see him still running past the turret. He doesn't really care much about Morgana here. But if he takes too many turret hits, it's not going to be as effective. And actually, they didn't take this dragon. I actually didn't keep looking. I just assumed that they were going to take it, but apparently it did not go down.
They had a dragon, I would say, right about 50%, but based on Jarvan being in the area, they decided to give it up, just playing a little bit more safe. And I think, it's 50-50 at this point, and we're going to see another pause here. I don't think it's going to be the last pause we see.
We'll probably have more pauses throughout the night. And, this is just like the first round jitters and technology problems. You typically have these. I look at skills and I look at them constantly refreshing in the bottom left. That's actually kind of interesting. I've never seen that before.
That's
refreshing
probably,
forever. It's like the pause feature, but it's like it keeps rewinding itself.
Yeah, so it looks like it was the purple team that had a disconnect. But, while we're here, we're at LANcouver. Calvin, can you tell us about your experience so far?
It's really awesome. Like, the venue is amazing. Like, and, definitely knowing behind the scenes, how much it costs for them to run this event. Like, I think it's actually pretty amazing, like, that this venue is here in Vancouver. I would want lots of LANs run here. It's big, it's open, it's cool. A lot of LAN areas that you typically go to, they're cramped, people are packed in. But this, it's so open. You can go for a walk around the arena. There's stuff to do. There's basketball. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's right in the heart of Richmond.
I mean, in terms of space, like, I've casted at a lot of different local and Atlanta events.
Whoa, there's an engagement right after we get out of pause. And they're all over Wukong, and he definitely will be picked up by that Ignite. And it looks like middle tower probably is going to be the target of some infection. No, they're just going to back off out of this.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I think Jarvan was able to finish Dragon. So Dragon going to go down in favor of the purple team, and...
Yeah, it's going to help them catch back up. They got that critical objective. It looks like Altex now actually has his Sheen and his Phage, so he's really, really going to lay it on his opponents or anybody he tries to target with as he starts to spam those spells.
Oh,
looks like Roshan now with an Oracle, which is very, very clutch here, and actually might be caught down from behind, and they're starting to pour on the damage right there as you see it all coming through. Great dodge by the red team, actually able to get out there, but they're going to lose their blue in the meantime. Looks like Ezra wasn't able to pick up. They're actually going to give it to Orianna. That's actually still a good play as well. They have now actually pink warded Dragon. This is an early ward. I don't know when they picked it. It was probably before Dragon was taken from Jarvan, I have to believe. If not, then maybe they have it timed correctly. But typically when you lay it down that pink ward and you clear out wards like that, they're definitely timing the Dragon, and they're going to want to take the next Dragon. Because otherwise, it's really kind of a waste if you're using a pink ward in an area. Pink wards are very good tells of what a team's intent is in League of Legends, and for vVv, being a strong team they definitely know that if that pink ward is there, the next Dragon, they definitely want to time correctly, and they're going to want to take it.
On top of that, we see Lulu with that early Oracles, which means that entire bot lane, Dragon, River area is going to be, that map control is going to belong to vVv. Not just with the wards, but that Oracle is going to prevent them from placing any sort of wards, and for having a jungling team like Maokai, he's going to be able to come in with confidence, use all that heavy CC abilities, Twisted Advance, and Arcane Smash to absolutely lock down lane and let Ezreal get off those shots that he needs to pick up those kills and just even snowball their bot lane advantage, which could even lead to future dragons.
Yeah, as you see here, the typical thing, once you take bottom turret, you can rotate in here really quickly on mid turret, use that AD's DPS, and actually just tear it down as 4-man. Which is what is happening actually. And red, they're coming in here. Targ actually taking a really interesting path. He's actually going to go down. Maybe he wasn't looking. Typically you click up there, and sometimes you don't realize that. Oh yeah, I'm going the wrong way. It's actually dangerous. And it's one of those dough moments.
Yeah, I mean at this point in the game, and it's not even just at this point, but it's when you're and we see another disconnect and a pause. But this is kind of those situations where when you're clicking on the map and you are looking at somewhere else on the map and you're not quite looking at your character, you might not take the best path possible. A lot of the pro players, or even the top players, will constantly be moving both from their from their player to the minimap, from their player to the like constantly moving back and forth. And I don't know if it's an APM thing or just something you train yourself to do. I know back in the day, I want to say Dyrus used to play with his camera locked, or maybe he would constantly lock his camera.
I actually see, when I was at MLG, at least watching players, I actually saw there's a lot of times where I think that at the high level, a lot of these players have played so many games, they just know exactly when they click the minimap, they know exactly what path it's going to take, so they trust it. And a lot of times I actually saw them looking at key objectives and places to attack, and they would actually go for moving chat. But they would actually, so what they would actually do is they would actually be looking at the engagement, and they would just instinctively know, based on that path, that they were, one, they were safe, and two, when they were there, when they were going to be within range to start landing their skills, and they were looking way ahead of what they were doing, and it was kind of pretty interesting. As we see here, Orianna is actually set up possibly there for a great engage with her ult and Maokai. Let's see if they actually bring it in. There's the Lulu ult to combo it, but it's not going to happen. They're a little bit too deep there. A little bit too aggressive, but that is the kind of potential we could see. I mean, you could see, Malphite getting in there, and vV Altex might try to feast here. Looks like he's definitely on a Morgana. He's going to switch over to Jarvan. Definitely going to pick up this kill with the exhaust. So
and
double
with the last
kill
tick
right
of the
there.
ignite.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was really cool synergy between the ults. So, with the ball on Maokai can twist it advance in. They can suck everything in to Maokai, and then
Lulu
use Lulu's ult to knock them all up and keep them slowed.
Yeah, it's a lot of CC, and it's really it's really continuous. It's hard to get out of, and it's really gives Altec time to land. He has because Ezreal actually has a lot of AoE damage between his ult, between his Essence Flex, all that stuff. So definitely good for this team. And then on top of all that, we saw Malphite come in late. Malphite can still follow that up.
Yeah, absolutely. Or if the roles are reversed, if you got Malphite leading the charge, I mean, it's the exact same thing. You got Malphite coming in, with the Orianna ball. I mean, it's just there's so much synergy with this team right now, and the command shockwave from Orianna is, and just the ability to maintain where that ball goes, who it's on. And that's
really, what I like
cool
about Orianna. That's what I was talking about earlier with there's so much utility, and kind of like how Anivia has all this utility with her wall. Just the ability to control the ball and place it on different teammates and do all those different cool techniques. There's a lot of smart plays that Orianna players can do, and which makes them really exciting to watch and see. It looks like Malphite up on his own again, but it looks like Orianna's going to come in here. Is actually she's going to meet Morgana. Morgana's not even looking at this. She's just tunnel visioned on this Malphite. Malphite doesn't even care. Look at this Malphite. He does not care. He's picking up kills. Orianna's finally in this. Probably going to command protect herself, eat a lot of that damage, and bam, double kill.
Crap.
Just like that.
Damage
Command Dissonance OP. That's all I have to say. Command Dissonance is a beast.
With just Rod of Ages and the Blasting Wand, I was shocked at how much damage that came out there. But if we take a look at the items here, Morgana doesn't have any magic resist. Wukong does, he's got a negative.
Malphite all in there, onto Graves, and boom, get chunked. Using her passive right there to actually deal a ton of damage. Graves trying to turn around, doing a little bit of a smart play. A lot of people just try to keep running away, but he was dead to rights. He actually turned around and tried to put more damage on Malphite, which is admirable in that situation. But again, Orianna, the command attack moves the ball around, but the distance, it's an AoE damage, it's a slow, it's a speed up for your team, but it also helps clear waves for Orianna, and it does a lot of burst damage. And then, in the early ages of Orianna play, back when she was OP and she had more range, a lot of people would put more, points into the attack move, just try to get it around, move it around more quickly, get the cooldown down. But slowly they found out that, the utility of the AoE plus the ability to clear waves was so much better on Dissonance. And now in her current state, since she doesn't have that OP range, it's definitely the way to go on her. As you saw right there, the damage was just really quick, boom, burst. And a lot of players don't expect it. It kind of almost reminds me, the way it comes off against your opponents, kind of reminds me of the way that Lux's, AoE kind of comes off, but Lux's AoE just doesn't hit that hard, in sudden.
Right.
And I think, it's definitely shock value if you don't play against Orianna's a lot to actually have that dissonance pop, and you're like, oh crap, where'd all my health go? And I'm slowed. No, this is not right. This shouldn't be happening.
Malphite start this 1v3, but he's going to have backup between Lulu and Ezreal. And, I mean, this is the type of coordination you want to see when you're and especially when you're ahead. You're just piling it on. You're taking the enemy's buffs, which they've been doing all game. They've got Dragon Timer. They've met up here. There's all 5 of them here. They're going to take Dragon. I would not be surprised to see them rotate towards Baron soon after. I mean, right now they just have a complete control over this game, whether it's in the map, whether it's the objectives. And right now you can see the coordination from this team, and I like it. You know, and you could say, well, Highwind, it's because they're so far ahead. Well, I mean, before they were ahead, they had the same coordination. And, you know, they're 23-6.
There's the Shirellios Red. They definitely want to try to catch Graves. Graves is going to flash out before he can be in range of Maokai, because once they're in range, it's pretty much over. There's a slow. They're trying to slow him down. I think they might actually engage under this turret. Malphite does not care about turrets. He's going to eat all this turret aggro. It's like he's not even losing health. Like, this is why Malphite is so strong and so feared currently in the meta. And here is a big engagement going down. Orion all the way in. Altex all the way in. They're finally going to take down Maokai there. Or no, they're not going to take down Maokai. They're actually taking out Lulu in that process. And the rest of blue team, just if they really want to track down Morgana, they can. And Malphite just doesn't care. He does not care.
So, yeah, it looks
So
like they're going
much
to take down
tankiness.
this mid turret. They're going to grab that inhibitor. They might even push up here and take some Nexus turrets. They've got, you know, Terror's going to be up in 6 seconds, but big whoop. You've got Jarvan and Graves and Wukong at least 10 seconds out. You know, there's a lot of things they could do because they have such an advantage. They could press it. Not the safest or smartest thing to do. They could easily just back out. You know, go to Baron now, push another lane. That would be the more conservative approach. And I think that's exactly what they're going to do. This is actually the smart play. And you know what? And you know, whether or not you're ahead shouldn't have really impact the decisions you make. And if you're gonna, you know, if that's you're gonna train yourself, make the smart plays, make the smart decisions. I think this
make
is a great
the safe
choice.
plays. You know, if I was red team right here, one of their options might be to try to run to Baron really, really quickly. Do it if they think they can do it. I don't quite know if they have the damage. If I look at Graves, he doesn't even have an Infinity Edge, so my guess would probably be no. I think Blue would probably figure out the jig is up and run there, but it is a possibility. I know a lot of times, you know, when Blue does stick around too long, or when you take that first inhib and the team backs off, especially when they farm up all those objectives like they did, taking the golems and the Rays on their way out, it wastes time for them to blue pill back, and if a team is really quick on the gun, they can make that gamble, especially from behind, and just try to run and do a really quick Baron. In this case, they're over there a little bit too late. Like, they're starting it now, but it's definitely not going to work. Maokai is tanky enough, he might be able to actually make it out of this, and if blue team collapses hard enough, and it looks like it's going to turn right around, there's Orion doing ridiculous amounts of damage, and Altex in there just to make sure everything goes well. Oriana just feasting right now, 8-1 and 7, and there's going to be another pause at this point, although I think, you know, it'll be interesting to see Wukong's juke moves, but I have a feeling he's going to have to do some really fancy moves to try to get out of this.
Yeah, I don't know how fancy his moves are going to be.
It might just be a sweet, you know, decoy. Really
those
quickly.
dance shoes have danced their last dance. It's time to put them away because Wukong's life, you know, not long for this world.
Yeah, looking at gold, Malphite actually leading this game with 10.5k gold. Ezreal at 9.7k. The rest of vVv's carries, you know, 8k, almost up to that 9k range. And if we look at the other team, mainly looking at their carries, Morgana's pretty much leading their team at 6.4k, but Graves is way behind, only at 5.4k. And, yeah, I mean, Wukong's 6.1k, so they're kind of trying to stay up there, and the kills are, you know, definitely spread across the team. Like, even Tarek has a kill. And if you look at the vVv team, it's like, their kills are spread, but it's all on carries. Even Lulu has 2 kills, so she's getting in there too on the action.
So I'm pretty sure we're going to have a restart here soon. This game shouldn't take that much longer to complete. That is heavily in favor of the vVv team. They're going to finish this round and move on to the 4th and final round of their pool. I think that's going to put them at 3-0 in pool play. It's a good spot for them if they if they win the 4th match, they'll put them in the top seed of the B pool, and that means they'll have a better position. Oh wow! Just absolutely reading Wukong.
Okay, so we looked back and he did not have enough fancy moves.
No,
there wasn't enough bag. He reached in his bag of tricks and he kept pulling out the tricks, but there was none left. Eventually, he was pulling out IOUs. there we go. In here. I actually believe vVv will actually have 2 more games after this because I believe they got a bye in round 1.
No, I think the Cream Team had the first round bye because they were short of players.
Oh yeah, that's actually true. Yes, because they were first for play. And there's Malphite engaging, doesn't even care.
Graves not really worth much at this point.
Altex doing work there, and they're actually focusing on Altex, which is good because he's the only one they pretty much have a chance at killing. Morgana probably should have thrown in some auto attacks there just to make sure they could try to get a kill, but luckily she's going to be nice to Altex. But Wukong definitely hunting for a kill here, but Altex is going to back out with his Arcane Shift. Kite like a boss. Just clearing out those mains so he can get to those turrets. Baron has been taken by the vVv team.
I was kind of wondering. I saw Baron buff. I'm like, when did they take Baron? Oh, I see. Well, meanwhile, the trio.
All you need is Malphite and then someone else that does damage, and then everybody else can just go do Baron.
Yeah.
So also a good thing to note too, as we're casting these games, is there was a bug with Baron, but as of this Pulsefire Ezreal patch, Baron has actually been fixed.
Is that confirmed?
Yes.
All right, excellent.
So he's no longer the ridiculous beast that he used to be.
No.
And now he's just normal Baron, normal worm that you can just beat up.
No Garen Nasher.
Yeah. So looks like vVv just closing this one. They're gonna focus on the Nexus. Good game to the Cream Team.
Yeah, the Cream Team, putting up a solid fight. A lot of both teams dealing with disconnects. It's unfortunate, but
luckily, they have this pause feature. So really, like, nothing too horrible was, happened here. They were able to still play the game fairly. And Blue Team actually completely almost getting routed. Look, it's Malphite. They can kill the rest of the Blue Team. Malphite can just sit there and take everybody. Morgana really wants this kill. He really wants Roshan now. He's not going to be able to get it. Roshan now just giggling and bouncing around.
So
and
pretty
they
sure
finally
the
should
GG
finish this off. Yeah.
Well plays are coming out here. They're going to finish that Nexus. Congratulations to vVv. Moving on here with a win. Probably going to move out of the bracket. No problem. I think it'll be, whether or not they win or lose the next match, I think they're going to end up taking the top seed here of the B pool. So thanks for watching this match, and hopefully we get to bring you more matches here out of pool play. If not, the top 8 will be broadcast tomorrow for day 2 here at LANcouver. So thank you everybody. This is Highwind, and with my co-caster Pato, we're gonna sign out for this game.